You are listening to the Built to Grow podcast, delivering the knowledge in all things fitness business. We help gym owners win. Here are your hosts, Tim Lyons and Randy Engston.
All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, and joining in studio as always, my co-host, Randy, the Lord of Leadership, Engston. What's up, buddy?
Good day, sir.
You like saying good day?
Oh,
and that door's open, isn't it? Well,
it
let's hope nobody walks in on us here.
we're going rogue. We're taking a risk.
Living on the edge.
Living on
with
the edge.
noise. So here's a couple things, some quick housekeeping stuff. Talked to our podcast coaches. They said, hey, people don't know about your book, Tim.
Yeah.
So let's tell people how to get the book. So I've got a book out called Built to Grow. It's you can find it at timlyonsbook.com. A lot of the stuff that we're talking about in the podcast is reflected in that book. It follows our mission. If you want to pick that up, it's free. We'll ship it out to you. Just pay for the shipping, and we'll get that right out to you. On top of that, we got a new style of episode that we're going to be launching here, kind of our Q&A. We want to hear from the listeners, the gym owners, the people that you have specific questions that, as you're listening to these, like, what if this happened? What would you do, Tim? Or what would you do, Randy? So we want to go ahead and give you the opportunity to ask us questions, and I will give you guys a plug. The way you're going to be able to do that is go ahead and rate and review over on Apple iTunes, the podcast, and put your questions in the review.
Yep,
okay.
perfect.
So what that'll do is we'll be able to kind of scan through those before the call or before the podcast episode next time it airs, and then we'll answer the questions live. If you want to put your handle in there, your IG handle, we'll
give you a shout out. Yeah,
little shout out there. So Q&A, rate and review. Just go down to the bottom of the podcast, ask your questions, and put your handle there.
Yeah, perfect.
So that'll change up the. That'll be fun. I mean, I like that.
It's a great way. I mean, obviously we're on a mission, right? We want to be able to help with the greatest level of impact. And if there's questions that our viewers or listeners are having, let's address them.
Yeah, I mean, normally the way we come up with our podcast topics is it's just things that are happening in our day to day. Like this happened on a call. What would you do? And so, if you guys have specific things, go ahead and just ask them in the review comments. So rate and review. Hopefully it's a 5-star, but hey,
It better be a 5-star.
No, it's up to you what you think about the podcast. So we'd love to hear from you regardless. If you don't ask a question or not, I'd love to hear from you on a review right there. So today's episode, we're going to talk about the overwhelming gap between the successful gym owners and the unsuccessful gym owners. And I'm only going to define success as revenue. I mean, I know that's not the only success, and that's very close-minded to say that. But on this episode, we're going to talk about the gym owners that make, let's just say, call it $400,000, $500,000 a year or more, and the ones that make $200,000 or less.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like we're in business, and so revenue is a great way to measure that level of success.
Yeah. Revenue is like keeping score for business.
It is keeping score for business, right? And the greater that you can run that score up, the more potential to change lives you have. So.
Yep. So kind of recap why we're doing this episode is because we did a survey. You maybe got hit with it on Facebook or Instagram. We gave away a squat rack, and we had a survey that was tied to it because I wanted to truly know. I said, Randy, and we talked about it in a previous episode. I wanted to know, like, what's going on out there in the industry right now. And the best way to do that is to bribe people with a chance to win something, to fill out this. If you're going to spend the 10 minutes to give us some info, awesome. Let me give you a chance to win this $1,000 squat rack or whatever. So in the numbers that we got back kind of surprised me a little bit as far as the revenue.
Yep.
You saw them.
Yeah. We actually had to change our form because the lowest thresholds that we had weren't clear enough. They weren't low enough, right? The average revenues we assumed were much higher than the information that we started to get back, right?
So probably the first 50, 60 respondents that we got back, there was a question on the survey that said, hey, give us your annual estimated gross revenue. And for those of you just starting out, this is the money you bring into the business, gross revenue. And as you take out all of your expenses, salary, rent, electrical, all that stuff, then it ends in net profit, right? So we were just looking for the top line revenue, not net profit, which is as important, if not more important.
Yeah, what you can clear.
But what are you generating on an annual basis in your gym? And the lowest answer was 100 to 200,000. Everybody,
almost every single response was that. Yes.
Overwhelming majority was 100 to 200. So when we're getting on these calls with gym owners, Kelly actually brought this up. She says, what's the lowest on there? I said 100 to 200. She goes, why don't you make it 0 to 50?
50, yeah.
0 to 50 and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
To my surprise, again, every response was coming in 0 to 50. And I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't get it, man. I mean, it's no offense and not talking down to anybody. Trust me, I've been at 0.
It's business. It starts there.
Starts at 0. And I didn't come, when I started my business, I had 0 clients and I had a bunch of overhead and I had nothing. I was starting from 0. So
I'll vouch.
I get it.
I was there.
Right. Empty doors or empty building.
Yeah.
So when we started looking at it, I was like, okay, 0 to 50,000 gross revenue. What could you possibly be taking home?
If you're paying yourself, right? Are you in your business? Are you making a salary? Are you? Well, no. What are they living off of?
The answer is not.
Obviously,
they're not. And I want to change that. So I created my mission to, help gym owners win. I want to help those folks that are struggling get better, right? And get more out of their business, because at the end of the day, yes, I love to help people change their lives. I love it. The cause is noble, but let's be honest, you need to make money to live. And the more money you do make, the more people you can help.
Absolutely.
And so this is a great thing. So we all know that there's an adverse, relationship between, or inverse relationship between trainers' minds in regards to helping people versus asking for money. Mm-hmm. And there's like this mental block as to why that happens. And I think that has some reflection on why these numbers are so low.
And one of the things, just along with that, we did ask the question too, is your facility your sole source of income, your sole job, essentially? We have the belief that we had the belief, I think it's kind of transitioned a little bit. We had the belief that most of the gym owners we were working with were in that self-employed role where they were taking home a salary or bringing money home from their business to pay their bills. Mm-hmm. But what we came to find out is the majority that were giving us those responses wanted more time in their business because they were spending their time at a different job in order to pay the bills for their gym.
Yeah,
so
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, that gap between that versus the true business owner role that essentially was kind of our mission, that we were thinking that we were helping people step into, is one step further. We have to get them to a self-employed role first.
Sure.
And then into that business owner quadrant, if you may.
Yep. So the cash flow quadrant book that Randy's referring to is by Robert Kiyosaki. If you guys want to pick that book up, it really breaks down the workforce into 4 categories: employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor. And that's what this podcast, we're talking about here, is that most people in America and in the world, if they're in the workforce, they're typically an employee. Mm-hmm. That's just the norm, okay? There's not a whole lot of people willing to go out and open businesses. It's very risky. It's very, very risky. Money, there's a lot of money involved, and you got to have it. So, and I started out as an employee too. Everybody kind of does. Maybe not the millennials of today that just go open their startups and boom, they're bazillionaires. But okay, employee. And what Randy's saying is a self-employed quadrant, which is on the bottom left in the graph that Robert Kiyosaki talks about, is you own your job, meaning you own the business, but you have to be there and involved to move the needle to generate revenue. And so a lot of them were still sitting in the employee role over on another maybe corporate job, and then they would run the gym at night.
Yep. Yeah, their hours of operation are affected by it. Mm-hmm. There's a million different things that because they can't be in their business as much as they want. I was blown away because when those responses on, how many hours a week are you working in your business? Yep. How many do you want to? I'm thinking that those numbers should be trickling away from the need to be in their business every day.
Sure.
And it came back to the fact that they wanted to be in their business more. And I was It was because they were spending their time working for somebody else in a different area, in a different business. So
those surveys came back, kind of opened our eyes a little bit, and and here's kind of some rough numbers. I will tell you, 80% of the respondents, hundreds of responses, made $200,000 or less. In about maybe, I think it was like 7 to 10% made $600,000 or more. So if we're saying 7% of the gym owners out there on this survey, granted, this isn't
it's not everybody,
but this small, sample size, 7% makes 600,000. Why is there such a big difference?
Mindset maybe, or where they're coming from, where they started from. I know we've talked about this and we were kind of touching on it a little bit, just our beliefs before we started. Coming from a trainer role, coming from a position where you're an employee at a different facility, and the next step is opening your gym.
Open a space.
Right? But where's the business development skills? Where's the acumen? Do you understand the numbers of the business, and aside from just delivering results on a training floor? And that's really where we've obviously seen the most change with the people that we've worked with, our private client coaching and things like that is, as we broke into the businesses and the structures that they have, there's so much, I don't want to say lack. It's not, we're not getting down on you. It's just, you don't know what you don't know. And if you've only been in that training role and you've never had some, business coaching or gone through, schooling for it or anything like that, develop, you have to be intentional about seeking out the information you're looking to change. And if that hasn't happened, it's understandable that you're still in a position of a trainer or that mindset, or that you feel stuck and you don't know how to step into that either self-employed role or eventually that true business owner role.
And I feel like maybe that's where I had the advantage. I came in with a degree in it was management, but it was in the business school or whatever. And I had economics classes and I had accounting stuff, and I knew how to write a business plan and all that stuff that goes into running and operating a business versus just going from a training floor at a LA Fitness or 24 and coming and opening up your own space. So it's understandable, like you said, that there isn't any education around that. So how do we change that is the big question that I have. Okay. And we got to talking. And it really is interesting. I think there's not a whole lot of resources out there for business skill sets in the training world.
I agree.
For personal trainers.
It's been, it's something that I thought about recently too, just working with some of the individuals and watching the progression of some of our clients over years and things like that. Where do you go? If you don't have a business coach, if you don't have a mastermind, if you're not pursuing that, nobody's coming knocking down your door saying, hey, you got a beautiful facility, you deliver great results, let's look at your business.
Never.
It's just not, it's not the way things work. So,
well, I would tell you this, there are a lot of masterminds out there that probably service the $0 to $200,000 crowd, or trying to get to you've seen this before, 6-figure facility.
Yeah.
So that's $100,000.
Yep.
I see a lot of that.
Yeah.
A lot of that. But what about the gyms that are in the 7% of $600,000 or more? Where do those guys go to? And it typically is usually outside of the industry to find coaching and groups and business organizations that service that higher level gym owner. And that got me really thinking hard, because I've said it on this podcast before. I've been in masterminds.
Yep.
I've paid handsomely, and you've been with me, to become part of masterminds to the tune of $25,000 to $30,000 a year, to be in these high level. In these, it's just really what the mastermind is. When you get to that level, you just get to rub elbows with other people that are at that level.
Yeah, it's the ability to bounce ideas around individuals that are, on par.
Yes.
And hopefully, above. There's going to be some on both sides of that spectrum, but you want to be in a group of somewhat your peers, with the ability to learn and grow from their expertise as well. Like you mentioned, though, often at that level, they're not in the fitness realm. Or, you might be part of a mastermind. You might have one or two other fitness, people in that
niche. One or two,
right?
But they're coming from other
30,
industries.
40, 50 of them. But the majority of the people run digital marketing agencies, everything under the sun. Yeah. And so what I like about that is it brings a unique business sense to the structure and the things that we know, right? In fitness and in any world, any business that you're part of, as you develop through that business, you refine your skills within that business. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that somebody can't come by in a different industry, organization, and look at what you're doing and say, hey, look, why don't you try this?
Yeah.
Why don't you do this differently? Or break down your numbers and help you figure out things, because this is all we know.
Yeah.
And, I use the expression, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And you, as the gym owner, it begins with you. I mean, you have to have that decision to seek it out first. Mm-hmm. And masterminds are a great place to do that.
So it got me thinking. And
yep.
You know all about this.
Oh yes.
I want to change that. I want to put something together, and I'll throw it out here for the first time publicly on this podcast. I want to put together a group of high level gym owners. High level.
Yes.
If you're listening to this is for you. High level, and let's just say $400,000 or more per location. If you have multiple per location. There's nothing for us in the world that I've seen, so I want to put it together. So I've decided on my own dime to put together an event here in Scottsdale, October 18th and 19th. If you're interested in this, what it is going to be a networking event with other high-level gym owners like yourself. And I don't know which direction it's going to go because it's very preliminary, but what I do know is when you put 20, 30, 40 people that are at a high level in the same room, great things come out of it.
It's the energy, you know, we've all been in those rooms. It's incredible.
Yeah, there will be an agenda. Mm-hmm. There will be cocktails. And there will be food. And you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Just get to the event and get your room or whatever. And I've secured a great deal over here at this Marriott. It's a beautiful location. Overlooks the TPC, which is the Scottsdale TPC, where the Phoenix Open is. If you've ever seen the Waste Management Open, it overlooks that great golf course. We've been out there plenty. And I'm inviting you. This is your open invitation to join me. And you, Randy, obviously.
Yeah, the team will be there.
At an event. It'll be Friday night. We'll have a cocktail reception. And Saturday from, say, 9 to 4-ish, 5-ish, we will have the event. We'll have an agenda. I'm working on having a great speaker there. Mm-hmm. And I just want to get in the same room with everybody and just have a great event. And we'll teach. You'll learn. You'll grow. And it's going to be different than anything else you've seen or done before, because I've been in several, and the status quo is the status quo. I want to change that, and so that's what we're going to do. It's not a mastermind per se; it's a networking event, but let's just call it whatever, the event in Scottsdale. So if you're interested in you fit the criteria, let's just say $400,000 or more per location. If that's you, listen to this. I want to talk to you, and we're going to put a link in the podcast notes, the show notes.
Yeah.
Just drop us a line. We'll create a link. It doesn't exist yet, but by the time this podcast airs, pfmarketingsolutions.com/event.
Yeah, okay? Perfect.
/event. We'll make that happen. Drop us a line, and I want to chat with you, because if I can get 40 or selfishly, this is for me just as much for everybody else. Mm-hmm. I want to be in the room with you, and I want to teach, and I want to listen, and I want to learn. So that's where I'm trying to get to. And if you're not quite at 400,000. Cool. We may have something for the lower, like not lower, but the guys making up to 4. We might do that as well.
Well, along with that too, if you have a desire to grow your gym, reach out. Bottom line, if it's not that event, we have ways of helping you ascend through those roles. That is the reason we do all of this, right?
Yep.
That's the reason we put together our coaching programs and dive into the aspects of each, areas of your business.
Sure.
Is for growth. So if on any spectrum you want to grow your business and you're serious about it, that's a big thing. Take it seriously. Change something. Pursue growth for your facility. There's no excuse to be the same place 3, 4, 5 years down the road without growing your business. If that's you, reach out either way. We'll find a home for you with what we have to offer, for sure.
If you're on the cusp and your goal is to get to 400, great. Let's chat, because we could probably have something for you as well. And maybe we invite you out to the first half of this thing. Whatever. We'll figure that part out. But I just have this vision of how awesome this could be with the right people in the right room at the right time. So October 18th and 19th, Scottsdale, Arizona. It's going to be beautiful. Great venue. Like I said, over the TPC. If you guys are into golf, you can jump out there, play some golf.
Yeah, they'll love that.
No, on the Sunday. Like
stay day or something. I was pretty sure they're not gonna allow that after the cocktail reception, but.
But
I've seen worse.
I've seen worse. I think that's going to be that's what I want to do. I think that's the next logical step to continue to grow. And I brought this up to one of our other friends, John, who's in our group, in our circles, and he kind of said, there's going to be some people that are willing to go and grow it. They're at that level, but then there's going to be some comfort level that, hey, I'm good. I make $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 a year. I'm good. I don't need any help. And the pain's not high enough for those folks. And I will challenge those guys that are listening. If you're comfortable, there's always room to grow.
Oh, absolutely. And there should be.
I'm comfortable, but I am not happy with where we're at. I want to grow. I'm never satisfied.
Growth or decay. I say it all the time. There's nothing linear. So
be at this event. It is going to be an invite. So I have to chat with you first. I want to make sure it's a good fit. But let's get together. We'll see what happens after that. But I think it's going to be a great event. And again, October 18th, 19th, pfmarketingsolutions.com/event. That'll get you there to whatever we put up to explain more about the event.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as we continue to lock down details as far as the agenda, the speakers, and so forth and stuff like that, we'll include that on the link. But first and foremost, because it's for serious individuals that want growth. So get on the phone, reach out to Tim. Let's have that conversation first.
Yep.
And make sure that it's a fit for you.
Perfect. So that's that. Going back to the lack of business acumen skill sets that are available for learning. Where do you think guys and girls that are looking for more, where can they go?
Oh man, for business?
Yeah, I mean, there's business, or let's just take it to a basic level. Accounting stuff.
I mean, we're partnered with your tax woman.
Tax goddess.
Yeah, that's what she goes by, right? Shauna is a great asset. I mean, when it comes to numbers of your business,
yes.
she is a coach in that realm. She is not a CPA.
Well, she is a CPA.
Well, she's a certified tax coach, which is the highest level. I think there's under 200 or 2,000 in the U.S. I don't remember exactly how many zeros on that, but it was one or the other. Either way, at 2,000 of them in the U.S. across the entire U.S.
Yep.
That's huge. That says a lot. So it's not just about her filing your taxes for you. Mm-hmm. It's about her teaching you how to make that process better, more effective for your business, how to save money.
Let's be honest. She teaches you and tells you how to keep the money
money you make. Exactly.
Yeah, that's the end of the day, legally.
Yeah. And when that's the thing, we hear it all the time. People get down on people about, utilizing the tax advantages that are out there for you. The government put them out there for you to utilize. That's
exactly.
You're not skating around. You're utilizing what's available to you. So that's intelligent business.
Let me ask you this. You're a mindset guy. Do you think it's a good idea for gym owners at any level, even at the lowest of 0 to 50K, to have a separate mindset coach outside of what their other coaches are?
I personally believe that every pillar of life. I personally pursue growth. My relationships, my financial situation, every one of them. In that situation, yeah, I think that if that's an area that you as an individual knows you need some accountability on, if you have that kind of wavering belief, if you need somebody to hold your hand, absolutely. If that's
cool,
I personally think everybody should
have a coach.
But yeah, without a doubt. I mean, everybody who's successful to a certain degree has a coach, right? Professional athletes have coaches. They have nutrition coaches. They have, obviously fitness coaches and things like that. But it's far beyond just the coach that plays, that's on the field with them.
Yeah, mindset coaches.
Exactly, right? I've got a handful of friends in the industry that's specifically what they do. My buddy's, he is the mindset coach for Alabama and for NDSU. You want to talk about some winning teams?
Yeah. Is that the Bison?
That is the North Dakota Bison, yeah.
Yeah, Bison.
And they're what, seven-time national champs or something
Division
like that?
one AA or FCS.
I don't know. That's your
expertise. So, yeah, and I would agree, yes, professional athletes. I'll tell you a quick story. Ches Reavy.
Yeah.
Ches Reavy, I went to high school with Ches. I actually trained him for a summer here. He's a PGA Tour golfer. In fact, he just won whatever event that was.
Yeah, a couple weeks, about a month ago.
Nice big winning. And I'm talking to his brother-in-law, who's a good friend of mine, and he was going into like hole 16, 15, 16, and he went into the last day with like a 6-7 stroke lead, and it was down to 2. Okay, so he was playing safe. Hitting par. I don't remember was it Dustin Johnson? I don't know. One of the who was the guy that was playing?
DeChambeau, maybe? He's been on it.
No, I wish I should have pulled this up before. Anyways, it would have made it a way better story. But I'm texting to Jimmy, who's my buddy, Jimmy G. If you're listening, hey buddy, and I'm like, dude, I can't watch this because he's losing stroke after stroke, hole after hole, and he's going into the hardest hole on the course was hole 17. It was a dogleg right, water on the right, short backstop. He had to like drop it on the green, or else he's rolling way off, and he's in the weeds on the backside of the green. And he shot first, and he dropped it. Boom, pin height, maybe 20 feet. Okay, nice. And the guy he was playing with, and he's a big name, and maybe I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, there you go.
He shanks it way long. I think he ended up in the sand, and again, it was a 2-stroke lead. Like, he could have got another par, Ches could have got another par, and the guy could have got a birdie, and then going into hole 18 with a 1-stroke lead.
Yeah, now you're talking about pushing a playoff or something.
And I texted Jimmy. I go, Jimmy, does Ches have a mindset coach? He goes, oh yeah, dude, he's out there with him right now. So mindset coach. I was like, good, because I want him to win. Like, he's my buddy. I want him to win. Like, does he have a mindset coach? He does have a mindset coach. Anyways, cool, calm, and collected, knocks it in for birdie. The guy like 4-putts it, drops 3 strokes. He goes into hole 18 with a 4 or 5-stroke lead, cruised in, won it, and it was amazing. I'm so happy for him. But yes, to your point, mindset.
It comes down to the ability to perform under stress in an environment where there's high risk, high reward. Yeah. That is what a mindset coach is about. I do our mindset coaching for our private clients, and 9 times out of 10, I'm not delivering new information for most of these guys. I'm just holding them to the things that they tell me they want.
Right.
If their actions aren't supporting the goals that they have, I'm gonna deliver that directly to them and say, hey, I'm gonna call your bullshit. Like, this is you told me what you want, and you went and did something different. 100%. I get thank yous specifically, like almost like the harsher I am about it, right? I'm not cutting. There's no fluff. There's no, hey, dude, you paid us good money because you want to develop. You want to advance your business. You told me that this is your goal. Your actions aren't supporting that right now.
Change it.
Change your actions. Let's get back on pace. Let's keep sharpening the axe, and let's do work.
Yeah, hashtag do work.
Hashtag do work.
So these guys who are kind of at that level, that $300,000-$400,000 a year level, those guys are the ones doing the coaching with us, which is awesome. So we're able to get them over the hump and do some great things. A
lot of them are trying to step into that full business owner role, and they have. They've successfully been able to do so.
So they've sought out the help. So here's I guess the whole point of this podcast might be, hey, there's help out there for you. You want to grow? Time to grow.
Yeah.
Time to grow. This whole podcast is called Built to Grow. So we're going to give you the foundation to grow upon. Take what we say, or take what's in the book, or take what's in the past podcast episodes, and grow. Like, stop being the same play. Like 3 years from now, you should be well ahead of where you are today. You know what I mean? Or else you're just stagnant.
It's stagnation. And I mention it a lot, growth versus decay. I truly don't look at anything in life as linear. I don't believe that stagnation, maintenance is a true thing. I don't think you could just sit and coast for an extended period of time. Whether or not you're focused on growth, the rest of the world is growing around you.
So
your business,
technically,
you're declining. If you're not, like the cost, your rent is going to go up.
Yep.
Your members there's going to be churn. If you're not consciously making decisions, being intentional, and taking action for growth, you're inevitably moving backwards as time goes on.
That's the best point you made, is even if you are technically standing still as far as, financially,
showing up for work every day, and
the world's growing around you. That
inflation, the costs of goods, the services, all of that is going to continue to process. You know why? Because those business owners are growing.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, those businesses, they're charging you more money because somebody's charging them more money in order for them to deliver those services. Sure. And it's going to affect your business. And if you're not able to either add more clients to your business, refine your costs and things like that, you're going to be moving backwards. And let's not do that. Let's help you go the other direction.
So if you guys want help with this, if you want us to take a look at your business, pfmarketingsolutions.com/call. If you're a gym owner at that 400K or greater level, I want you at this event, October 18th and 19th. We'll put that in the show notes, guys. And one last plug for the book, timlyonsbook.com. If you want to pick that up, that we're selling books for. If we're giving it away, you just pay for shipping. It's all in the funnel. But that's it for this episode. Yeah. Until next time, guys, keep changing lives, and hopefully, we see you 18th and 19th of October.